Welcome to Rick's Corner. The man, the myth, the legend. Now on with the show.
Hi, welcome to Rick's Corner. I've had people write to me and say, listen, why don't you discuss what happens when you have back pain? There seems to be a lot of people who work out, they get lower back pain and there's a little upper back pain as well. Well, from all the years that I wrestled, I've been pretty fortunate as far as lower back pain. I do have an L5 occasionally that will go out, and when that goes out, what happens is it pinches your sciatic nerve and you get tweaked. You're kind of like S-shaped, and it stays that way for a while. What happens is the vertebrae, the L5 moves, and then the muscles around it cause a spasm, and it holds it out of place, and then you can't straighten up. My advice to you is when this ever happens, get to your chiropractor the same day if you can, right away. Have them adjust it, pop it back in, and then ice it for 20 minutes at a time, 2 or 3 times a day, and take a little ibuprofen or Tylenol or something like that. Every time I've done that, the next day it's fine. It goes away real quick because it doesn't stay in that spasm state. Now, when you're working out, there's some things that you can irritate it and can cause this to happen. T-bar rows for one. If you're not doing T-bar rows correctly and you're really jerking the weight, it will definitely throw your lower back out. You've got to do it slow. You've got to stretch forward and bring up to the bottom of your waist and stretch and use a medium weight to a light weight, not a heavy weight, because heavy weights you'll cheat and you'll really throw that thing out. It's really uncomfortable. The other thing is maybe one-arm dumbbell rows can do the same thing. Squats, if you're not careful on your squat, you don't keep your back straight, pick a spot on the ceiling, or not the ceiling, but high on the wall, and stare at it. It keeps your head straight and up, and you'll squat straight up and down. The minute you start to lean forward a little bit, it's pressure on that lower back, and it can cause a spasm, it can cause injury. I've had this happen before. It's not fun. If it does, you can also stretch over the hyperextension stool, where you lay with your feet are covered underneath your heels, and you stretch forward, stretch and move and do a little bit of hyperextensions. No weight, just very light. These are things, the way to remedy the thing. These are also how you get them, is from using those types of exercises and not being careful with them. Never had it from anything else. Well, yes, I have. I can't say that. I remember getting out of a computer chair once, and I twisted, and when I got up, it went out. But see, it's normally a build-up to that. It's something you've done throughout the day or throughout the week that tires that out, and then the last thing you do is what sets it off, and it does it. I also did it washing the tire in my car. I reached over, did it. When I stood up, it was out. Something led up to that. So beware. Just be very careful with the things you do, not to irritate that area, because it's chronic and it can go on forever, and it's really hard to get rid of. The upper back, sometimes in between your shoulder blades, you'll get a kink and you can't breathe, and it's really kind of like a nagging pain. Well, that's usually a rib that's out, and people don't understand when a rib is out. They're attached to your vertebrae, and then they pop this way, a little bit out this way. So you have to have your thumbs, or have someone who knows what they're doing, pop it back in. It will go back in, but if you wait again too long and the muscle spasm, it's not going to go in right away. This is the best way to deal with back pain. You can use heat on it and you can use ice on it. You can alternate the two. Both of them work. For the first 12 hours or so, I use a lot of ice because I want to take the inflammation down. I don't want any of that inflammation, because once it comes up, it's hard to get rid of. Okay, that's lower back pain. The other thing is shoulder pain. Lifting your arm, I have, doctor told me, a frozen shoulder. It means that it's compacted in the joint and it's rubbing against the ball joint, and it needs to be released. Sometimes with arthritis and calcium, it doesn't release, and so when you're doing laterals, it's more trap work and back than it is actual shoulder work. This is something I've had on this shoulder since 1965 when I was wrestling. Some guy took me in the top wrist lock and he went like this, and I heard it pop. Ever since then, I've had issues with it. Laying on my side, putting a jacket on, putting a t-shirt over my head, it's miserable. But I can still work out. I can still do lateral raises, and it seemed to work okay. I did front presses for a long time off the squat rack. I did pressing quite a bit over and over. But then I stopped doing it because it was irritating the joints. You have all that compression coming down on your shoulder joint, and it's irritating it, and it's making it swell up and creates inflammation, which also causes pain. So I limited all my shoulder workout just to laterals, fronts, sides, and rears. constantly, and that's the only thing I can do for shoulders at this point now to alleviate that pain. All right, the last thing I want to say is there are certain things like Celebrex. If you have arthritis, it seems to work. It's not great for you, but it does work on the joints. If you have anything like AFib, which I do, which is you need a blood thinner, you don't want to take that kind of stuff. It will thin your blood too much and you'll bleed out. Celebrex, there's Voltaren, which is another anti-inflammatory that really helps the joints. Ibuprofen is very, very harsh on the stomach. I don't think I'd take that at all. But those two things I mentioned are good. If you want to try, you can talk to your doctor, see if you get a prescription. Other than that, you just got to work through it. I think doing nothing makes it worse, because doing nothing lets it freeze up on you, and it gets more and sore and more sore and more stiff, and it just becomes a nightmare. So being agile and being able to move around and do your movements will keep it from stiffening up on you. There's no other joints other than I can think of than that. Knees take care of themselves. Lower back is the big thing. Now hips, I've noticed a lot of people getting hip replacements in the past several years. I had a knee replacement a year and a half ago, and I'm squatting again, hack squats, doing heavy, doing great. I wouldn't say heavy, but heavy for me. But my hip's starting to hurt. My right knee went, and I got a new one, and now my left hip's starting to hurt. So it seems to be a series of one thing after another. It's like a train where one boxcar all the way down the line makes every boxcar follow behind, and then something happens to it. So you just take it easy and watch what you do. Don't go so heavy. Take it easy on squats. Maybe find a spot, like I said, on the wall and stare at it. Keep your back straight. That's about the only advice I can give on this. I know it's chronic. It happens a lot. People have it a lot. Also, sitting long hours in a car when you're driving somewhere, get up and stretch, because long hours can throw your back out. It sounds weird, but you're sitting for a long period of time and your spine relaxes, and when you stand up, it'll spasm and it'll go out. Simple thing like that can bother you. Laying in bed, if your bed's too soft, that can hurt. I find that in my den and my living room, that if I lay on the couch at night and watch TV, when I go to stand up, my lower back is really stiff. The couch is a new couch, both of them, but apparently there's something there that irritates my lower back. It might be a little too soft. Those things can add to it as well. Okay, guys, that's what I want to tell you about back pain, shoulder pain, and I have nothing on emotional pain right now. Just deal with it. All right, I'll see you guys next time, and thank you for watching Rick's Corner. Bye-bye. Hey, everyone. Now you can have the Gold's Gym logo drawn by me, the artist Rick Drasin, personalized and made out to you and signed by me to frame and put on your gym wall or wherever you see fit to do so. It's a piece of bodybuilding history. It will never be duplicated again. It's the largest selling icon t-shirt logo in the world, and I'm the guy that drew it, and I will draw it for you. Just go to my website, rickdrasin.com, and order there. You can pay through PayPal, and it'll be sent out right away. And be sure to watch Rick's Corner for all the videos on bodybuilding, nutrition, fitness, pro wrestling, and anything that suits your interest as far as getting physically fit and being the best you can be from the golden era of bodybuilding.
He's the equalizer, baby. See you next time.